Good morning. I'm not sure what time it is for you, but it is, you know what? I think it actually just turned noon, so good afternoon. Hello. Today I wanted to try a cinnamon roll recipe. I haven't actually ever made cinnamon rolls from scratch, except once whenever I did a vegan recipe, which actually turned out pretty good. But I want to do like an actual one, you know what I mean? So, sorry, Mitzi's like down here. Anyways, so I have everything right here. I will link the recipe down below for the one that I'm using. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm so excited. Okay guys, so I still want you to be able to see the bowl, which is why my head is like halfway like cut off. So one day I will be able to film stuff the way I need. Anyway, so right now in this bowl of a stand mixer, I have the wrong attachment. So you just want to have the paddle attachment first. And in this bowl, I have the yeast. For the recipe, it uses instant yeast. I don't want to use instant yeast because I want the flavor development of the active dry yeast. So I'll leave the conversion below because you do have to use a conversion, which is 1.25 times the amount of instant yeast to yield the amount of active dry that you need. Anyway, so I have active dry in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the warm milk. This is about, you can do like 110 to like 115. This is actually cream and water mixed together because I don't have any milk right now. So if you have that, or if you have like evaporated milk or something of that sort, that will also work. And if you're using active dry yeast, you just need time for it to proof. If you're just using instant, then you can just skip this part here. You really want to make sure that your milk is not too hot because it will kill the yeast. So that's like one thing that if you don't have a thermometer, which honestly just get one, like it's so awesome. It makes it so much easier to not overcook chicken, for like cooking steaks, for making bread. So like honestly, very worth it. And they're only like 10 bucks or something. Just buy one. And yeah, so that's really important. And if you just refuse to get a thermometer, I understand where you're coming from. You can put your finger in the milk before you add it to the yeast, and as long as it's not burning you, then it's good. It should be about the same, a little bit hotter than the temperature of your finger, like kind of just like what you'd want like a bath to be. But yeah, so this is still proofing. It'll be like 5 minutes. Okay, so the yeast has had time to proof. I just put a little bit of the sugar in there so that it would just speed up the process. Also, if you follow my channel and you're like, what the heck is going on with her hair? Or if you don't and you're also wondering, I bleached it so I could get some of the color out, and then it just kind of like, blue is really hard to get out. I had blue and purple, so things are just happening. Anyways, so I have some melted butter here. This is not hot at all, and that's a very important aspect. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in here. She said in the recipe that you can do melted, softened also works. I think softened is probably fine, honestly. I feel like melting it is a little bit much. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add the sugar. I am adding a mixture of coconut sugar and granulated sugar, but that's just because I wanted to lower the sugar, like the glucose levels in it, so that's just a personal preference to me. I'm also going to add this flour that I have here, and this recipe has a lot of flour. It's 4 cups, and I just like to do mine on wax paper. I think it's easier. Just making sure that nothing is about to spill or not too much. Oh my gosh, I made a heart. Cute. You guys can't see it. I made a heart. And I opened my patio, so if you hear birds, that's why. And I also wanted mine to be a little bit more chewy, so I added vital wheat gluten to this to make it bread flour. That is also very optional. There's also going to be a conversion for that in the description. I'm going to go ahead and lock this and put it on low. And they say to just save like a half a cup of flour out of the amount. So that's what I did here. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle the salt in here. I just got some Malden salt, so I'm like using that. And I'm also gonna add the eggs that need to be room temp. She like very haphazardly like threw everything together in the bowl, so that's what I did too. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then just gonna mix this together until it is combined. And it says you may or may not need the extra flour. I think I'm gonna add a little. So this is what it's looking like right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop this because it is combined. Yeah, this dough is super pretty. So this would count as an enriched dough because it has butter in it. So an enriched yeast dough is gonna be delicious. Other examples of that would be brioche. So this is very, very similar to that. And then I'm just gonna scrape down the sides of the bowl while I'm here. And I'm just gonna make sure there's nothing happening underneath. Yep, all combined. And in her recipe, she says to let this hang out for about 5 minutes so that it can hydrate, so the flour can hydrate. And then we will go ahead and let it rise. Okay guys, so it's been about 5 minutes, so it's been able to hydrate as much as it will be. And I am adding the dough hook here. I'm gonna go ahead and lock this and just put this on, I'll do a medium. And this needs to, wow, I'm gonna say it without this on. So we're gonna attach the dough hook, and this is going to knead for about 5 to 7 minutes until it becomes elastic. It'll be very textured at first, and when it's ready it will be nice and smooth, and just like the texture will be nice and smooth and there won't be any bumps or anything. Okay, so something that's also very important to note is when you are letting your dough knead in your mixer, pay attention to your mixer because it is very possible. Alexa, be quiet. Anyways, it is very possible for the mixer to throw itself on the ground. That used to happen in culinary school all the time. This dough is gorgeous. You can see here. See, it's nice and pliable. I can squeeze it, it's not coming off. This is like the perfect amount of flour. So I ended up using about 1/4 of a cup less than what the recipe states. And you always just want to keep your dough, like anytime you're making bread, you want to keep it as nice and smooth as possible. It will make your yield so much nicer in the end. Don't get discouraged. So I just have a nice little bowl right here, and I have greased a gigantic glass bowl. I'm gonna set that in there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and cover this with some plastic film. And for hers, since she used instant, she let it rise for 30 minutes. I believe that this is gonna take about an hour, so I'm actually just gonna place it in the oven with the light on. Actually made some food in here earlier, so it's still a little bit warm from that. So I'm just gonna leave that in the oven with the light on for about 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna check it, see how it's going, and I'll judge from there what my next move is. And in the meantime, we can go ahead and make the filling for our cinnamon rolls, because that can just kind of hang out a little bit. Okay guys, so we're just gonna make the cinnamon filling. This is a cup of brown sugar, which I never have brown sugar, so I just made it from molasses and granulated. And then I also have a half a cup or 1 stick of very softened butter. And 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And we're just going to mix this together. And this can be done while you're letting the dough rise. It can just hang out to the side. If you ever need your butter to soften quicker, you just cut it into pieces and it'll really lower that time. If you're wondering what's happening here, it's the molasses getting on me. And you just want this to be spreadable, because this is the filling that we're gonna lay on that soft dough. Okay, so this is the filling, and it is nice and combined and softened. And I'm just gonna set this to the side until my dough is finished rising. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and whip up the frosting. This is 8 ounces of cream cheese. She uses 6, but I'm not gonna save 2 ounces of cream cheese for no reason. So you could up the butter and up the sugar if you'd like. I'm just gonna keep it as is. I'm going to go ahead and cream this first by itself. And you could do this by hand or with a stand mixer or a hand mixer like I have here. And I'm gonna go ahead and add the butter, also softened. I've always wanted one of these. Like, we had one whenever I was little, but it's been a long time. And my roommate has one, so I just use it sometimes for like whipped cream and stuff. And you want these to be, you want the butter and cream cheese to be as soft as possible so you can make it easier on yourself. And I'm just gonna add 2 cups of powdered sugar. I'm gonna add 1 cup first and get this incorporated so it doesn't get everywhere. And they add a half a teaspoon of maple extract. I'm just gonna add a little splash of vanilla extract just because this is like a random one like McCormick. If it were like Madagascar, I would go ahead and add the entire thing. And since I'm using the whole block of cream cheese, I'm gonna add a heaping cup for my next cup of the powdered sugar just to kind of offset that a little. And I'm just using the lowest setting on my hand mixer, and that way this doesn't go everywhere, because it really can go everywhere. And you don't want sugar all over your kitchen. And I'm gonna turn it up. And I'm just gonna give it a little taste off the beater. Awesome. So this is perfect cream cheese frosting. I'm gonna go ahead and set this to the side. I'm actually gonna set it in the refrigerator because I can pull it out while the rolls are baking, and it'll be nice. It'll be a good consistency for whenever they're hot. Okay guys, so I just pulled the dough from the oven that it has been sitting in. It smells ridiculous, first of all. This is what it should look like. It has a little bit more than doubled in size. I would say it took about 40 minutes for this to happen. So we're gonna go ahead and flour our work surface. My hands are clean. Out. Okay, work surface is floured here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just turn this beautiful dough out. So gorgeous. This is exactly what you're looking for it to be nice and stretchy. Okay, and I'm gonna put a little bit more on the top, and I'm just gonna kind of rub the rolling pin. I have a nice heavy KitchenAid rolling pin here, and that is gonna help me on my quest to get a rectangle, but you can use any rolling pin, and you can also do this by hand. You could do it with a bottle. It's kind of hard, but it is possible if you don't have a rolling pin. And I believe in hers, she does 15 by 24 rectangle. But she also kind of made it seem that that was a little optional, like you can kind of just do whatever feels good. So I'm gonna go with this, and I'm just going to take the filling and I'm gonna use an offset for this. It should make it a little easier. And for this, you can make this filling, or you can just spread butter on the dough and then sprinkle it with sugar and cinnamon. Kind of just, they're very similar in how they come out, so it's just whatever you want to do. And you just want to leave a little bit of a border, because when you're rolling, it'll actually squish out to the sides and it'll fill those gaps. And then you just want to kind of pinch the sides up here like this, and you want to kind of, so what I'm doing is I'm kind of grabbing it and I'm going to fold over under itself. So I'm just pulling back and then folding it under itself. And you just want to do that for the whole thing. And that way you get a nice, clean, tight roll. This dough is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I can't even believe it. And I made it. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and just push. And you want to be gentle here because, you know, this dough is very sensitive. All right. And the ends actually came out pretty good on here, so I don't think I really have to cut them off. I'm just gonna go with it. And then you just want to kind of pinch the sides up here like this. And you want to so what I'm doing is I'm kind of grabbing it and I'm gonna fold over under itself. So I'm just pulling back and then folding it under itself. And you just want to do that for the whole thing. And that way you get a nice, clean, tight roll. This dough is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I can't even believe it. And I made it. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and just push. And you want to be gentle here because, you know, this dough is very sensitive. All right. And the ends actually came out pretty good on here, so I don't think I really have to cut them off. I'm just gonna go with it. So I put parchment down under the parchment. I have a little bit of oil, and then I put a little bit of oil on top as well. And I just have a bench scraper here. You could use a knife if you'd like. I have a bench scraper, so I'm gonna use it. And I'm gonna do about half. And these are going into 6, right? So half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god, this dough is amazing! So it squishes it just a little bit, but it'll come back to life once we do the second rise. Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, so they are now in the pan, and I'm just going to let these rise again in the oven for about 20 minutes. All right guys, after all of that, my camera is like covered in flour. I just pulled these from the area that they were hanging out in. They are nice and springy. Yes, they are like very uneven because I accidentally cut like these were like 2 and I accidentally cut them like super thick. So I put these in the middle. My oven just got hot, so that's awesome. So in their recipe, they pour a half a cup of warmed, which this isn't warm enough, half a cup of warmed, like room temperature pretty much, heavy cream over them. I'm gonna use 1/4 of a cup because it honestly scares the heck out of me. And I'm also gonna heat this up just a little bit more just to take that chill off. But yeah, so this shouldn't be warm or cold, but if you're gonna have it one way or the other, it's better to have it a little bit warmer. It just needs to be about 90 degrees. Whoops. Anyway, so she literally just like pours this on them. And it's supposed to get like gooey on the bottom or something. I don't know. Like, I've never seen this before, so hopefully this doesn't mess everything up. But we're here for a good time. Anyways, so this is gonna go in a 375 degree preheated oven for about, in hers it's about 17 minutes. I'm gonna shoot for 15 really quick, see where that gets me, and I'll check them and let you guys know. All right guys, so they just came out, like literally right now. They're still bubbling. Looking very beautiful. And these two rose up pretty well. These are the ones that were the most small, so they're good. All I like to do is just kind of, you can kind of tap like the middle here with your fingernail, just a little bit. And as long as it springs back to you and it's kind of crispy right here, you are good. They will continue to bake while they're sitting on the counter. They will probably rise about 10 to 15 degrees while they're hanging out right here. Now, I want to put the frosting on, which I have right here. I want to put it on while it's hot, but not when it's this hot because it will completely melt off and you will not have what you need. So I'm gonna wait about 4 minutes, frost them, and then we'll be back to try them. I am very impressed with this little guy right here because it looks exactly like a Cinnabon because of the swirl. Look at that, absolutely perfect. These are gorgeous. I'm really excited for my first set of cinnamon rolls. So these have cooled off for about 4 minutes, 5 minutes now. The pan is a little bit easier to touch, but it is still very, very, very hot. Like I can go like that, but I can't hold it. That's the perfect time to frost. So I have the frosting here. I actually thinned it a little with just like 1/4 of a cup of heavy cream because I wanted to. That's it. That's all I got. That's the reason. And I'm just using an offset because it'll be really easy to get this to do what we need. And I actually used to work at Schlotzsky's, and what we would do is push the frosting like into the crevices whenever we did the Cinnabon. And you also, like we always did them hot as well, so if you want yours to be like that, this is what you gotta do. Honestly, I would always put more frosting than you're supposed to, and they would get so mad at us. Like, I had this one manager, and she literally, like, she was my GM, and sometimes she would, like, frost them herself just so that she wouldn't have to tell us again to stop using too much frosting. But it was just so much, they would be so much more beautiful with more frosting. But, you know, we were doing the wrong thing. As an adult, you know, I know that. But when I was 18, I didn't give a damn. I was like, I'm putting all the frosting. And now that I'm in my own kitchen, I can put as much frosting as I'd like. I wish all of you guys were here to have this. I would love my mom to be here right now. And you want to move it around as much as possible while it's hot because it'll move around and settle as it cools, and they look so beautiful when it settles. It's amazing. And I like a lot of frosting, so I'm just gonna keep going and going. But you can put as much or as little as you'd like. I can't wait for my roommate to get home. I don't know if I said this already, but my roommate's name is Liz, and she's gonna be so excited for this. It'll be a nice little like welcome to her. She had to go and work at a different location for her company in Waco. So I've been here for a couple days. She's coming back tomorrow. Okay, I don't think I could fit any more frosting on there if I tried. So here they are. Look at these. They're so gorgeous, guys. I'm so happy. Okay, guys, so the moment has come where I get to try one of these. Super excited. I would like to use the offset in here, but I can't because this pan is non-stick, so I'm gonna use plastic to get something out. I don't know which one I like want to try. I want to try this beautiful one right here, but it's kind of like deep in here and I feel like I'm gonna like hurt it. And I really prefer to like rip cinnamon rolls out as opposed to cutting them, but the first one you kind of can't, so. Oh my goodness gracious. Come out of there. I'm sorry, cinnamon roll. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. And it's still steaming, as you can see. It's cooked beautifully. You can see here, nice and soft. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe this is real right now. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the cinnamon looks really nice in there, nice and thin. This is a joke, right? Guys! And you can really taste the yeast development here. So it's not just sweet. It's sweet. There's a nice like yeasty element that just makes it like, it breaks up that sweetness. The nice tart taste from the cream cheese is amazing. Look at this like kind of crispy edge from the side. These are gorgeous, guys. Okay. If you got this far, you have to make it. Those are the rules. Wow, look at that. I'm sorry, guys. I love bread. Like, I feel very passionately about bread, and I honestly just can't get over how gorgeous this is. I just put a little bit more frosting on here because that's my life. Don't mind me. Look at how well that cinnamon sugar sank into the dough. What I find to be very interesting is what the heavy cream did here. So it mixed, I understand. It mixed with the sugar as it was cooking out of the bottom, the sugar and the butter, and it created a caramel. So it's very reminiscent of like a sticky bun at the bottom. Wow, look at that. I'm sorry guys, this dough is just... See, like, this is that cinnamon sugar, and usually it would be more stringy, but it's more like pliable because it mixed with the heavy cream. I really like that. I've never, honestly, I've looked up a lot of cinnamon roll recipes. I've never seen that before. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the thing. I know a lot of people love this bite too. Okay guys, so I appreciate you so much if you got this far. Please tell me what you think in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video with your friends and family. I would really appreciate that. I hope that you guys had a good time. I definitely did. I've been in the kitchen for like 4 hours. but I was doing other stuff like while I was making this. Everything is in the description box below, don't worry. Please let me know if you have any questions. I am more than happy to answer anything that you have. These are absolutely delicious, and I'm gonna go and be in a coma now because they're also very, very sugary. Anyways, but yeah, thanks so much guys, and I hope you have a great day or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys. And it's so stress-free filming on my camera because I can edit out all the stupid fucking shit that I say. I'm going... ah! Okay guys, so these have cooled off. Fucking timer.
Why can't you just let me go? Criminal, criminal, I can't get you off my mind, Lord knows I've tried a million times. Why can't you just let me